The following program is brought to you by Cloudcast Media, a podcast leader in developing shows to elevate local brands, local stories, and local storytellers. Cloudcast, bringing ears and minds home.
Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Luis Ibarra and I'm the Superintendent of the Escondido Union School District. I'd like to welcome everyone to our new podcast called Enlightened. So Enlightened is a podcast where we talk about our school district, the Escondido Union School District, where we're able to share all the wonderful things that are happening, our programs, services, and of course introduce you some of our very special parents, teachers, administrators, and of course our wonderful students. So thank you for listening. As we go into this podcast, before we get into our content, I would like to talk a little bit about me as the superintendent. So again, I'm Luis Ibarra, superintendent. I've been doing this for, it's my 6th year. And for the past 6 years, I've had the wonderful opportunity to lead this outstanding district and look at all the wonderful things that are happening. And so we thought, who best to bring all of this information into our community and to our listeners than to hear from us ourselves, so that we can bring you all this wonderful content. And so that's the whole point of Enlightened, so we can enlighten ourselves to what is going on into our schools. So a little bit about me. Been doing this for 6 years. I started my career, it's been 29 years, and it's hard to believe it's gone by so fast. But I started as a teacher. I've been a site administrator. I've worked in human resources, I've worked in finance, and of course I now have the wonderful opportunity to be the leader of this district, the Escondido Union School District. We're located in north of San Diego, North County, and we've got 23 schools, 17 elementary schools, 5 middle schools, and 1 intermediate school. We've got approximately 15,600 students, and we've got a wealth of knowledge, and we've got a lot of talent working with us. And of course, we have some amazing students. So let's go on with our first show. And with me in the studio today for our first podcast with Enlightened, I have some representatives from one of our specialty schools. So I'd like to first introduce the very proud principal of Conway Elementary School, Tina Meglich.
Good morning. I am so happy to be here. As Dr. Ibarra said, I'm the very proud principal of Conway Elementary. This is my 4th year at Conway, and I feel extremely just proud of the work that's happening at our specialty school that has implemented the Expeditionary Learning model.
Okay, we'll get into Expeditionary Learning. I want to hear a lot about that. But you also have some students with you, right?
I do. I have 2 students. I have a 6th grade student, and I will allow them to introduce themselves. And then I also have a 4th grade student with me today. Both of these students are part of what we call our ambassador crew, and we'll talk a little bit about crews later.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Hello, my name's Adrian and Lillian. I'm a 6th grader who goes to Conway. I'm 11 years old.
Hi, my name is Lillian, and I am a 4th grader, and I am 10 years old.
Okay, welcome, all of you. So let's start with Tina. Our listeners don't know what this specialty school is about. Can you talk about the concept of what is a specialty school?
So specialty school within Escondido follows a little bit different model for learning. Something that we have really focused on is how do our students learn best. We implemented the Expeditionary Learning model, now known as EL Education, that really focuses on 3 different areas. We call it Mastery of Knowledge of Skills, which really ties to the academic achievement of students, and we measure that. The other area that we really focus on is character, relational character in our students, and the third is high-quality work. Through project-based learning, that we call expeditions, students are able to learn a little bit deeper about issues that are impacting our community. They become very passionate about doing the research. At the same time, they're reading, writing, thinking critically, and being problem solvers. So through the expeditionary learning model, our students are exposed to so much more as they discover their strengths and really grow not just in their academics, but as people. The one thing that we do say as far as the model itself is those 3 areas that we focus on, and the students will explain a little bit more about what that looks like and feels like and sounds like at school. We focus in those 3 areas equally. It's not just about the academic achievement for us. For us, the character piece and the high quality work piece are just as important as the academic achievement.
Tina, I would agree, because when you walk onto your campus and when we bring visitors on your campus, everyone says this feels different. And it starts with that culture that you and your staff have built at Conway Elementary School. It's that every kid also has a voice. They can explain to visitors what they're passionate about. They can explain with great detail what they're learning about. And they can explain how that is important and how they want to make an impact. And I think that's what really, to those that visit, they really take away is, wow, these students are so engaged. So let's talk to the students and talk about what makes Conway different. So let's start with you, Adrian. You've been there for how many years?
I've been there for 7. I started at kindergarten, and I'm here at 6th.
Right, okay.
And honestly, I love Conway because it's different from other schools.
How so?
Because the teachers there, they empower us and cultivate us to become leaders of our learning, leaders of change, and leaders of our community, which is really cool because the lessons they teach us are like really meaningful and powerful. And we do that through expeditionary learning. Expeditionary learning teaches us to get smart to do good and to become vehicles of change in our community.
What Adrian means by getting smart to do good is identifying the issue in our community and becoming experts on it by reading texts, researching, even going on field work and taking notes and taking pictures. And we ask experts to come in and tell us about this. And we come to the best conclusion on the best way to solve that problem.
Wow. So give me an example, Lillian, about experts that have come in and talked to you about that.
So this year, one of an expert from the San Diego Zoo came in to tell us about why the ocean's polluted, what's in the ocean, and how it can affect the world.
Okay, fantastic. Now, I've also heard from speaking to a lot of your colleagues, a lot of your fellow students, that you guys go and do field work.
Well, yeah.
Can you help explain, give us examples of what you do when you're going on a field work?
All right. I was going to add something else to what Lillian says by
go
saying
ahead.
that. So my dad's been reading some financial books. He finished the first one. Now he's going on to the second one. And he told me I should read it. So I started reading it. And it talked about how we only remember 20% of what we see and say, but we remember 90% of what we do. And at Conway, we're all about doing stuff in expeditions. And we're not just there talking about what we could do. We're going out and making a change right there and then.
Wow, that's pretty important.
Yeah.
That's profound.
And I'm going to add a little bit to that because that has been a shift that we have really focused on. There's continual professional development within our teachers and that mindset that we are learners as well. But a shift that we've made is really focusing in on how do our students learn best and engaging them in those real world issues, letting them feel like they have a voice, their voice matters, and building that sense of empowerment for them to do the research that it takes. Bringing in the experts allows them to tap into their knowledge, because when we do go out on field work, we often tell our students, this is your opportunity to put on the researcher hat, to put on the scientist hat, and you're going to go out there and experience what that's feels like, and then bring that knowledge back to share it. So that is the one thing, and I love what Adrian just said because that sparked an idea. getting our students to actually do the work allows them to really own it, and it's more sustainable. The learning is a lot more sustainable for them.
Wow. So can you give us examples? Because our listeners are probably thinking, wow, this sounds great, but what does it look like? What does it feel like?
Well, so last year, my expedition was the Human Rights Expedition, where we talked about the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, or the UDHR. So what we did was we learned about it and how people's rights have been taken or violated in history. And so what we did was, in December of last year, we took a march all the way down to Great Day Park to advocate for people whose rights have been taken away or violated. And we were also surprised to learn that some people did not know they had rights, did not know about their rights. And it's pretty crazy because there's 30 of those rights. And we were carrying posters that had a right on each side. Mine was Article 19, the right that everyone has the right to have an opinion and to share it as well.
Okay, so that obviously had an impact in your learning and how you have a voice, right, and what you can do.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
One of my expeditions is actually last year. So my expedition was about how trout are indicators of the health of our local watershed. And we raised trout in our fish tank in our classroom. And we wanted to study more about these trout and why they're starting to go extinct. And it was mostly because of the pollution people have been doing. We've gone to other places and we picked up trash so we can actually help it, and we also studied and did scientific drawings and lots of research.
Wonderful. So, how did this impact you as a third grader? Because that was last year, right?
Because it really made me think about the past. I have one time maybe, or a couple times maybe, thrown trash, but now it's made me rethink about my decisions I've made in the past.
Okay, that's pretty powerful. That's very powerful. Okay, let's move into something that I often hear when I'm on your school. Everyone's talking about these epic norms, or let's behave, let's be epic. Can you explain to our listeners, what is epic?
Sure. So EPIC stands for excellence, perseverance, integrity, and compassion. By excellence, we mean that we always try our best. We don't go for anything that's not our best. Everything we do is the best work we can do. We're using everything we have to make it. And for perseverance, it means that we don't give up, no matter how hard it is to create that excellent work. We keep trying, we keep going. We won't stop until it's done. And it's about just working and working, not stopping. And integrity means that we follow the rules even if nobody's watching. For example, if someone's walking down the hall and there's no teachers, all the teachers are in the classroom or somewhere else, they don't just start running because that's not the right thing to do. They understand that I have integrity. I'll do the right thing no matter what, even if nobody's watching. It doesn't matter if the recognition. It matters honestly who you are and how at Conway we're all epic. And compassion means that we are basically one big family. We're kind to one another. For example, if a kid's hurt on the playground, you'd go help him because you guys are one big family. Even if a kid's hurt, we have to help him. And if a kid's all alone by himself, and you'd be a friend to them, you'd go play with them because we're a family again. We're like brothers and sisters at Conway. We trust one another and we're friends with one another.
And another big part about excellence is high quality work. And there's 3 attributes to high quality work. They're complexity, craftsmanship, and authenticity.
Complexity means that the work was very rigorous and that we evaluated and analyzed many complex texts to reach the work that we've shown.
Craftsmanship is work that's well crafted with beauty, detail, and accuracy. And I actually had to do so many drafts on my writing. And there's actually our classmates, we do peer revision, and that's when they give us kind, helpful, and specific feedback.
And authenticity means that we're using our own creative thinking and thought process to make our work, and it can be used in the professional world.
Sounds like you have a a good grasp on what EPIC means.
Definitely.
I mean, these are the rules that you guys are going to abide by, or their code of ethics that everyone's going to follow at your school, which I believe lends itself to the wonderful culture that you've established at the school.